All right, I told you guys 10 EDC items that I'm loving so far. I guess it's time to do the opposite. What's going on, everybody? It's Lamar with MF Research, and today I'm going to give you the top 10 items that have crossed, I guess it's 10 or so items that have crossed my channel so far that are my least favorite. It doesn't mean they're all bad products, except for number five. Number five sucked. In most cases, they didn't meet my expectations and how I planned to use them. They were either overpriced for what they were, and even though they may have been well made, they just didn't do what I needed them to do. They may very well work for you, but for me, they didn't work that well. First up, I guess we'll call it an honorable mention. I took it off the list because I found a new home for it in my garage. It's the Data Crew Water Slider. First, let me say it is well built. It is great quality. It's got some of my favorite features on a pouch, but because of the thickness, the depth of it, I couldn't really fit it in my sling comfortably, and it definitely wouldn't fit in the pocket in any shape, form, fashion for any amount of time. So for that, it kind of hit an odd spot for me in terms of pouches. But now that it sits in my garage on my desk, I'm usually working on something while I'm watching YouTube videos or just in there fixing something, cutting something up, or whatever the case is. I've got the tools that I need to handle that in that pouch, and I use it probably 3 or 4 times a week now. So because of that, I found a home for it. I found a use for it. It's off my list, but I'm using that to set the tone for the items that you're going to see on this list. I'm not going to be bashing these products. I just want to let you know how they didn't work for me. So if you're thinking of using some of these for the same reasons, you'll know ahead of time and you can save a little bit of money. All right, in no particular order, here's my list. And when I can, I'm going to try to give you recommendations that try to work with some of those issues and correct some of the problems that I may have had with the products that are on this list. So first up, the Thule Ion 40 liter. Man, I like this bag when I got it. I liked the wax canvas look. I liked the stores, the organization, the blue interior, but it just wasn't comfortable. And because of that, it's first up. That's the first one we're going to talk about. And those grab handles, I hated those grab handles. Those two features were the biggest issues for me. If you like that bag, more power to you. I'm glad for you, but for me, it just didn't work out. And as far as recommendations, I think I said it in the video, the 28 liter is probably a better bag just because it expands and some of that lack of comfort may be alleviated with a smaller bag. You can also go with Air. Their travel pack series works great. I've had, I think it's the travel pack 2 for years. I keep trying to sell it, but when I'm about to put it on the market, I decide I want to keep it a little bit longer and it's still here just because it works out that well. And last, I'm in the TomTalk series. I haven't gotten a chance to review it yet, but that 40 liter TomTalk travel backpack, it's half the price of the Ion, and I think it beats it on a lot of factors. Speaking of TomTalk, next up on the list, it's right here. It's the TomTalk T21 Sling. I think the dark interior and the strap not being as adjustable as it should be really work against this sling. And after carrying the T24, I realized what the T21 could have been. And the other thing I've realized is that for certain small tablet carries, because I have the larger tablet, I may want to go for a smaller backpack over a larger sling. And I'm going to look into that in the future, and I'm going to even compare to see which one is the better idea. So stay tuned for that. Two alternatives I'll give you real quick. I would say the TomTalk T24 like I recommended. There's a video, and I actually compare the two. I'd also go with the Air Tech Sling. Yeah, there might be a lot of Air products, but I like Air. They make good stuff. All right, this guy is the Viperade VE5. I did a video of this. I took it with me when I was traveling. I thought it was going to be a nice tech organizer for me. But the problem that I had is this pocket right here. On the website, this pocket right here looks like it was split and it would hold your cell phone. I did reach out to Viperade on that. They told me that certain iterations actually do open that, and they were willing to send me another one if I wanted to, but at that point I'd moved on to other directions. But this one, if you like it, if you want to use your phone in it, just be careful and be mindful that certain versions don't have it. So check that first. And if you do want to use your phone in here, it does have the pocket in there. You'll be good to go. As far as alternatives go, they make these little gridded kind of things. Some of them even have little pockets on the back. Tactical Geek has one that's pretty cool that I want to check out that has hook and loop on the back, and it has this on the front. So that might be something to consider just to give you some of that flexibility in how you store things. The next recommendation when it's in stock is I'd have to say the garage built gear. I think it's the EDC organizer. It's about $100. I think it looks pretty good. I'm gonna check it out when I can get my hands on the color that I want. I could have got the black, but I think I'm gonna wait on the color that I want this time. All right, next up, I think I've mentioned this a few times, the knockoff Amazon cheap version of the EDC fidgets. Don't get these. I am a fan of buying lower cost gear to kind of see if you like something in a category if you haven't tried it first. But when you've got stuff like this by Lottie that's just made so much better, and the shuffle, I can't recommend going with this. One thing I'll show you is the magnets. They don't stay in. One of them actually flips so the polarity is reversed, so it repels slightly. So don't get these. All right, number 5, the thing that I'm going to have to say actually sucked. Don't waste your money. I checked on Amazon this morning. They no longer carry it. I don't know how the competitors or the other versions work in relation to this, but this cooling puck. It's made by Binks, and I actually like Binks for some of the stuff that they have. But this thing, it claimed to cool your iPhone back. I've had it since I had my iPhone 12. It worked a little bit, but I don't think it worked well enough. You had to keep it charged, so you were running a charger from this. There was no way to pass through charge or anything like that. And what I found, I tried to use it a little while ago, it runs very loud. And in addition to running loud, it actually got hot. So if the cooling thing is getting hot and your phone is getting hot, you're just gonna be out of luck. So what I recommend is nothing, don't do that. What I've done when my phone gets a little hot is I just put it on the granite countertops in the kitchen, let it sit there for a few minutes, and that'll cool it off well enough for me. My phone's not overheating that much, but just to be safe, I'll do that. Or if like I put it on my console and it's in the sun too long, that's the only other way it'll get too hot. So I'll just keep it out of the sun and it's usually fine. Hey, I hope you're liking the video so far. Don't forget to like, comment with any gear reviews you'd like to see in the future, and subscribe to MF for Research. Any support helps grow my little small corner of the EDC community. Now back to the video. All right, this guy, this wasn't in a recent video, but this is my Theragun. I bought this early on, trying to use it as a massager gun. It works. I like it. Don't get me wrong, and this is what I say in this video. They are good products. In some cases, they just don't work for what I need. Or in this particular case, I think you can go with some of the lower priced alternatives and still meet your needs. So because of that, I'd throw this on the list. What I'd recommend instead of this is one of the lower cost alternatives. I think Sharper Image made one. Costco sold one for a while that were fractions of the price. I think this one was like $200-300. I can't remember, but it's been a while. I don't really see anything that differentiates it. Yes, it's built really well, but do I think it's built well enough to justify the price in comparison? Nah. The only other difference I think I'd see is that this one has an app. Have I used the app? Twice. The only thing the app does is works you through a program. You can get some of that on YouTube. Between YouTube and a timer, you can do everything that app does without all that. So that's why I'll take the Theragun off the list. Stick to reputable brands, and I think you'll be okay finding these, and the build quality should be good for what you need. If you want to stick with the Theragun brand, I recommend going with the Mini. It's significantly cheaper. It's a smaller footprint. You can take it on the go, and I think that's a better version to use than the full size one. All right, this one, it never saw the light of day. Again, the 10s I could put on the list, but what I'm actually putting on the list is what's inside the 10. These EDC metal flossers or whatever they are, these are borderline dangerous. So that metal wire, don't put that on your teeth if you want to keep your teeth. Stay away from these. This you could use a little bit, but I do worry about having to keep it clean and then storing it. There's no case for it or anything like that. So it seemed like a good idea at the time, but I haven't used them, so I'd recommend something a little bit different. If you want some flossers on the go, get some of those little plastic ones, or they sell, I use Glide Floss. They come in these little containers that are probably about this tall. Get those instead, throw them in your packs, and you'll be fine. All right, a lot of people on the internet love this thing. I bought one because I was curious. It seemed like a good idea. The MagTame or MagTame magnetic USB-C charging cable. First, let me say it works. It's a quality cable. Do I need magnetic coils? No. I don't think this accomplishes anything that a nice twist tie or a cord strap or anything like that, something from Night Eyes to keep it together, would handle. The magnetic feature is cool. Don't get me wrong. It works like it says it does, but is it necessary? I'm going to say no. If you get some on sale and want to try it out, sure, but I don't think there's no need to rush out and grab any of these. I think with this one, it's just more hype. It's not that it's a revolution in cable charging technology. It's just a charging cable with a magnet in the coil, and it doesn't do anything super special. You'll be fine without it. What I'd recommend is go any charging cable from Anchor or any charging cable from Ugreen. You'll be fine. Go with those. Get some Night Eyes twist ties. Get some cable wraps. I'll put them both in the description. Get those instead. You can get them to fold up smaller. And the other thing, a lot of tech cases are more so designed to cover that. Just like, we'll go back to the Viper 8. They're designed to fit in a slot of that size. So you'll be fine with something like that over something like that. All right, I bought these guys. These are the 6-in-1, I think, 7-in-1 multi-tool pliers that I bought from my travel EDC. This part works, and that's really it. It claims 6 tools. There's like 2 1/4 tools. They have these pliers. These pliers, I think, only worked on a super clamp or something, but other than that, they're not going to do any real plier work. So what I'd recommend is get the 4-inch crescent wrench if you really need some pliers on the go, or if you want to use it like I did for a TSA EDC, get the Leatherman style. Those 2 options will set you straight. You'll have better functionality than these pliers, and price-wise, you won't be too far off, especially if you go with the crescent wrench. One more that I'll add, I haven't had a chance to try them out yet, so I'm not 100% sure, but I've seen good things about them online. I'm gonna try them one day. Is try one of those multi-tools out from Nextool. If you want one that'll get you through TSA, find one without a knife on it, and that'll set you straight. If not, and you need the knife, get something that just has pliers on it. I'm sure they'll be better than these pliers. Last up, without further ado, I love Anchor products, so it pains me to do it. This guy right here, this Anchor, and I'll put the number on the screen, which model number this one is. This is a MagSafe charger. It charges your phone. It really does. But the problem with it is it gets so hot when you use it for a short amount of time. I'm scared to use it MagSafe to charge anything. So what I end up doing is using it with the plug, and if I'm doing that, that defeats the purpose of having a MagSafe charger, I think. So if you want the wireless, now there's Qi 2 chargers available. Try one of those. I haven't had the chance to yet, but I'm gonna get one. Just be careful. Make sure it comes from a brand you know. Make sure it's also Qi 2 certified, and do a little bit of Googling, because some people will market that it is Qi 2 and it's not. So I just want you to make sure you have the right stuff out there. Otherwise, just get one wired. I have a couple in my micro EDC playlist. The Ugreen charger, if you want something bigger. Anchor chargers, other than this one, have worked out well for me over the years. Nitecore has a 10,000 milliamp hour one that has carbon fiber wrapped and is really light. So there's tons of options out there. For me, I don't necessarily need MagSafe charging for a battery bank. The only way I think it comes in handy is if I'm trying to use my phone and charge it at the same time. But more often than not, by the time I'm getting to the point where I need to charge my phone, I'm not trying to use my phone. I'm just gonna stick with wired stuff for right now. I might try something that's Qi 2 certified later, but right now I'm not too rushed to get it. That may change, but we'll see. So what are some EDC items that have been overrated in your book? What do you think doesn't quite hit the mark? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear. And in some of the categories, let me know if there are some alternatives that I'm missing. I like to try new gear, and I'd like to try some of your recommendations. You guys haven't sent me wrong yet, so let's keep that trend going. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'm Lamar. This is MF and Research, and I'm out.